This is a midweek thought for Wednesday, the 17th of March. Thank you for joining with me, and I do pray that you'll be blessed in listening. In the last two recordings of midweek thoughts, we've been considering some of Jesus' words as he hung on the cross. The first was the word of forgiveness to the crowds. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. The second, the word of assurance to the repentant thief. Today you will be with me in paradise. In this message, I'd like to consider what I've called the word of triumph. We find Jesus' words immediately before he died. It is finished. It is finished. Now, depending on the inflection in Jesus' voice, this cry from the cross could be interpreted in a number of ways. Some people might think of Jesus saying, well, thank goodness it's all over, it's finished. In other words, he realized that the whole nightmare was over. Or, it is finished and the whole ordeal has left him shattered and undone. Or it could even be taken as an admission of defeat, being conquered by a stronger foe. The truth, though, is that this wasn't the moan of a vanquished warrior or a defeated sufferer. This was actually the shout of a victor announcing that the battle was over and that his earthly mission was complete. We are told, in fact, that when Jesus cried out again and gave up his spirit, he was declaring a moment of triumph. It was a cry of jubilation. We have to ask what was finished. One of the answers concerns Jesus' prophecies about his birth and life and ministry and atoning sacrifice. These had been fulfilled. But there was also the fact that everything which he had been sent to do was accomplished. The storm of God's wrath had been poured out on him. And now the eternal plan of redemption was totally complete. All the types and shadows of the old covenant had found their fulfillment in Christ. The battle against sin and Satan had been fought and won. As had been promised in the Garden of Eden, in exchange for a bruised heel, Jesus had bruised the serpent's head. And now he triumphantly declared, it is finished. And that's now left for believers to consider. We need to celebrate the fact that the record of debt that once stood against us if we are believers is now cancelled. Jesus has set it aside, nailing it to the cross. And so if we are trusting in him, then his cry of victory is now ours. It is as final today as it was when it first resounded at Calvary. We too can be free because it is finished. As we read at the beginning of the 8th chapter of Paul's letter to the Christians in Rome, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. I would encourage you to think seriously about these words. May God bless you, and thank you for listening this day.